Gizmo Media Stations, Miss Katrina speaking. Wild Bill? Just a moment, let me see if he's in. Okay, go ahead, caller. You're on the line with Wild Bill.
Hey, Blues Fiends. Wild Bill from Blues 102 here. I've been asked for months when I was going to get around to doing interviews, and maybe I just was waiting for the right one. On the phone with us today, we have Grammy Award winner Sugar Blue from Next Level.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, we're doing all right. How's things up in Chicago?
Oh, man, everything is beautiful in Sweet Home Chicago, man.
Oh, great. Hey, I first want to thank you, the rest of Next Level, and Frank Rozak for giving us the opportunity to be one of the first stations to spin Next Level. I mean, that was a heck of a mix, man.
Hey, man, I'm glad you dig it. I'm glad you dig it, man. Sonics and I worked really hard at it, and and having DMC as a special guest was really an honor.
Oh, I imagine. I mean, because it was kind of interesting when I first heard the song. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it was off the hook.
Right on, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's quite a fusion of the two genres. It's hip hop, paying its dues to the blues. And that's really what it's and that's wonderful because, as Willie Dixon said, the blues are the roots. The rest of the music are the fruits.
Absolutely. Now, I want to tell you, we've been hearing a lot from our fans around the world that we've been introducing a whole lot of people, younger people, college and even high school, to the blues. I guess their parents are hearing it and are playing it and they're hearing it. But I got a couple of background questions that I want to ask you to kind of give them a feel about who is Sugar Blue, because you've been around for a while, and these younger guys would have never possibly heard of you. So I want to know, you've been described as the Jimi Hendrix of the harmonica players, and I just want to know, how does it feel to be listed in that kind of company?
Hey, man, I mean, it's a great honor. Jimi Hendrix was one of my musical heroes, man. If I'd been a guitar player, I would have loved to be able to play with that much authority and beauty. But I'm a harmonica player, but I always aimed at that kind of mastery,
Right. Now, I'm one of those guys that I like background stories. I kind of do a lot of research, and I always enjoyed the story of why you felt like you needed a nickname and when you were getting started, and how you actually picked Sugar Blue. For that new audience of fans that we're trying to help grow here, could you retell that story for them?
Oh, sure. Well, for you guys, first of all, let me tell you what busking is, in case you don't know. Busking is playing the streets, okay, and entertaining the people, as they go up and down the road. And I was busking in the West Village in Washington Square back in the early 70s. I've been playing out there for a long time, and hanging out with different friends of mine. And I had a partner whose name was Slim Butter, okay, which I thought was a really cool nickname. And he said, "Man, you got to get a nickname, man, because Jimmy Whiting is great, man. If you're gonna sign your name, in a school book or something like that. But if you're gonna be a blues man, you gotta have a hip moniker." And I was like, "Yeah, man, but all of the good names are taken. Sonny Boy, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, and Blind Lemon, and all of these cats, man. Where am I gonna find a hookup? Where am I gonna find a handle like that?" And so we looked around and tried different things, but nothing really worked. Nothing really stuck. I didn't really like any of the things we came up with. And we were playing on McDougal Street underneath a lady's window. We didn't know it at the time, and it was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and we had a big crowd standing around. It was a Saturday night, and we were making some good money. And this lady opened the window, and it turned out to be a little old Italian lady who we had awakened. And she started hurling epithets out the window at us in Italian, so I didn't understand the doggone thing she was saying. And we smiled up at her, yay! And we were laughing at her. And so she closed the window, and we kept on playing. Next thing I know, I heard the window open, and all of a sudden, right next to me, bam! There was this, she had opened the window and thrown out a box of old lacquer 78s, okay? And lacquer, was around before vinyl, but it was very brittle. All of the records in the box shattered, except for the one on top. And the one record on top that remained whole was Sidney Bechet's Sugar Blues. And I looked at it and I picked it up and I said, Slim, this is my name. This is it. Sugar Blue. I was like, Sidney Bechet, SB. Sugar Blues, SB. Sonny Boy, SB, because Sonny Boy was and is one of my favorite harmonic players. And so that was the moniker that I took and that I've been wearing ever since.
Very cool, and that's one of those stories that when it comes to history, you want people to know that.
Oh yeah.
Now, I've done a little bit of research, and I saw that you had played with and or recorded with some of the who's who in the music industry over the last couple of decades, and people like the Stones, Bob Dylan, Prince, Muddy Waters, and B.B. King, just to name a few from several genres. Looking back, what was one of your most memorable off-the-cuff, how did I get here, what just happened kind of moments?
Oh, geez, man, there have been so many wonderful opportunities to meet and play with some of the masters that I had so much respect for over the years. Let me see. Good grief! I remember going to a gig to see Willie Dixon with the great Victoria Spivey, and this was at a upscale venue in New York back in the 70s. Victoria introduced me to Willie Dixon, and and I got to sit in and everything, and I'm on the top of the, I'm on over the moon, you know what I mean? Because Dixon is one of the greatest songwriters and A&R men in the history of the blues. I just thought, well, it just can't get any better than this, This is like a night I'll remember for the rest of my life. And when I came down, and Victoria said, "That was wonderful, son. I want you to meet my other son." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "And I want you to record with him." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She took me over into a corner, and that was like only a VIP section.
Okay.
And we're walking over, and she says, "I want you to meet my son, Bobby." And I'm saying, "Yes, ma'am." And we're walking over, and it's very dim over there in the corner. But as we get closer, I'm like, her son, Bobby? Hell, that's Bob Dylan sitting over there. And she takes me over, and she sits down, and she sits on Bob's lap, and she said, "Son," and Dylan said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, son, I want you to meet Sugar Blue, and he's the best harmonica player in New York City, and he's going to be on your new album. And he looked up at her, and he said, "Yes, ma'am." and said, "Don't you want to play with my son, Bobby?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." And I played on, and he called me up about a couple of days later. I played on what was at the time, he was working on his Desire album.
Okay.
And the track didn't make the album, but it came out as let me see, what the heck was the name of that record? The bootleg. It came out as the bootleg series a number of years later.
Very good. And now you've added DMC and Sonics to that group of A-listers. I mean, how was it working with those two guys?
Sonics went to YouTube, and I have a version of the Hoochie Coochie Man that are recorded in Bern, Switzerland, at Bern, Switzerland, at the Jazz Festival there, and it has garnered over 1 million hits. And he went to see it, and he said, I quote him, and he said, "I was blown away, man. I never knew harmonica could make all that much music." After we talked for a few minutes, he said, I'd like to include you in this project, and what would you think about doing it? It's going to be a fusion of rap and the blues. And I said, "Sure, man, that's wonderful. Let's do it." So I cut my track, sent it to him. He began to work on it. He said, "We're going to have a special guest on there." And I said, "Well, who's that going to be?" And he said, "It's going to be DMC from Run DMC." And I said, "Well, that's really cool, man." He joined us as a special guest. Next Level was born.
Well, that's very cool. Now, with everybody that you've played with, I mean, because I can remember there was always that one person, that one project or that particular collaboration that you want it to happen. I mean, is there that one person that you still just want to perform with that just hasn't happened?
That one person that I'd like to perform with or for. You mean living, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you could go out and play with somebody tomorrow that you haven't played with yet, but they were always on your to-do list, who would that be?
That would be Quincy Jones. No problem.
Oh, man. You picked a good one, didn't you?
Hey, man. I mean, Quincy's, man, I've been loving Quincy Jones since the 1950s, man.
Well, I tell you what, if I ever get a chance to talk to Quincy, I'll make sure that he knows you're looking for him.
Right on, man.
Now, I heard that there's some rumors floating around that there's a tour coming up. I mean, is there any information or somewhere with your fans?
Man, there's a tour coming up, and we've got a new project. We've got a new project in the works, which will feature another guest rapper, and Sonics and I are really locked into this, and we think it's a very important and new field to be working on, man. It's like bringing rap, hip hop, and the blues together. It's like reuniting a family, man, and the bonds are really strong, and the fusion is immaculate. The stuff so we're going to keep steady on this road.
Okay, so the Next Level Rap Hip Hop project, it's an ongoing thing. It wasn't just a one-time run.
Yeah.
Oh.
By the way, another single is in the works.
Oh, sweet. Well,
yeah.
You know where to send it.
Yeah, man. I'll send it to you, man. We're gonna be featuring another wonderful rapper, and it's going to be. But we can't tell you who yet.
Oh man, I thought I was about to get an exclusive, and you just blew it up.
Hey man, I'll tell you what. We'll let you in on the first floor, okay?
Oh, okay. I'll accept that.
Okay.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to keep any longer. I just got one question. I mean, you had talked earlier about Willie Dixon saying that the blues are the roots and the rest are the fruits. Well, I'll tell you what. I think the roots have met the fruits, and the result is Next Level. And before we go, is there anything you'd like to add before we cut you loose?
Hey, man, get to spinning. It's time for spinning.
Well, all right. Well, I tell you what, I'll let you go. Enjoy the time with your son, and I'll get off here and I'll play that song again as part of the interview.
Okay, man. Hey, man, and thank you, Wild Bill.
Oh, thank you, Sugar Blue. Anytime.
And let me say to the crowd, God bless you, and may somebody you like undress you real soon.
Oh, very good. Well, you have a good one. We'll talk at you again later, Sugar.
Ciao, baby.
As promised, here is Sugar Blue, DMC, and Sonic's the Mad Scientist with Next Level.
Sonic the Mad Scientist. Your destination, next level.
Now when I was a young boy, at the age of 5, Mama said I'd be the greatest man alive. Now I'm a man, born to be a rebel. I'm all turned up, gonna take you to the next level.
Take it to a whole nother level. Take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that. Put a wet down back, now you got a dope track. Rapping so whack that I gotta still rap. Never ever left, so it's not a comeback. Coming with the gag, cause I gotta come strapped. Cop will never find where I hide my guns at. Damn, I should've never said that. Now I'm just another rapper with another gun rap. Back to the back of the dope ass track. Hope that the judge could get it past that. Pass on my friends, I'm a real class act. I love a girl slim with a little ass back. Beat to settle, I use heavy metal. Boiling hot like tea in a kettle. Add a little bass and add a little treble. We wanna take this place to a whole nother level now.
When I was a young boy, at the age of 5, Mama said I'd be the greatest man alive. Now I'm a man, born to be a rebel. I'm all turned up, gonna take you to the next level.
On another level with the devil's 12. Run DMC be raising hell. From California to the ATL. Walked on ice and never fell. Man, I think I'm a robber bank. Crash through the wall in an army tank. That's way better than an armored car. Just wanna get away, I'ma get real far. Nah, I would never do that. That's not the level of where I'm at. Girl, I'm a dog, I wanna eat your cat. Just make sure that you clear the pack. The man on the beat is being side beat. DMC making sure you don't forget. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. You all DJs, you know for Jason's dick.
Now when I was a young boy, at the age of 5, Mama said I'd be the greatest man alive. Now I'm a man, born to be a rebel. I'm all turned up, gonna take you to the next level.
Ask me no questions, I tell you no lies. DMC is the king of rock, and now I tell you why. At the age of 1, brought me a gun. At the age of 2, I joined the Hollis crew. And at the age of 3, I became an MC. At the age of 4, I had rocks galore. At the age of 5, I had to rock the mic. At the age of 6, I learned to mix. At the age of 7, I went to heaven. At the age of 8, at the age of 8, at the age of 9, I wrote this rhyme. At the age of 10, I learned to win. Came back from heaven to do it again. And this time, y'all, it'll never end. Before I go, I just want you to know who I am and who I be. I'm the world's greatest, latest